Leadership is influence, and you can't be over who or what you're supposed to be over until you get under who or what you're supposed to be under. I learned that lesson at a very early age from my father. I clearly remember the cold winter chilly day in Chicago. It was the month of February, and it was the week of my 8th birthday. All I hoped for was a baby alive. I ran into the house and met my father in the kitchen. You see, it was still daylight, and I typically never saw my father in the daylight. My father was a shrewd businessman that hailed from the south side of Chicago. He would have these filthy little sayings like, early to bed, early to rise, work hard, and advertise. He'd also tell us, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. My father was also a pastor, and he was the chairman of the Community Development Board for the largest Black-owned bank in Chicago. So when I saw him early that day, I was pretty happy to see him. He told me he had picked my next instrument. You see, I had been playing not the harp, the piano, since the age of 6. So when he told me that he had picked my next instrument, I was pretty surprised. He walked me into our family living room. You all remember that living room that you weren't really allowed to go into? It was covered in plastic furniture. I was only allowed in there when I was playing the piano or having family devotion. He walked me over to a large structure that was draped in a brown covering. He removed the covering, and it was a harp. That's right. At 8 years old, my father saw that I was gifted, and he knew that gifted individuals were typically musically inclined. So at 8 years old, I sat on some big old phone books, stacked some towels on my shoulder, and pulled this harp back and became a black harpist in the city of Chicago. Nothing about this journey was going to be common, but my father explained to me that there were two types of individuals, ordinary and extraordinary, and I was certainly nowhere near ordinary. This harp would walk this little black girl into rooms where I didn't necessarily look like I belonged, but I had the confidence to be there because I knew I had put in the work and I had the calluses on my fingers to prove it. As I walked through this journey, by the age of 12, I had developed some very unique leadership skills. From walking in these rooms, from playing this instrument, and from the practice and the discipline that it took to play this instrument. But by the time I hit high school, I just wanted to be normal. I wanted to fit in. So I started doing normal things. I put my harp to the side a little bit more. I started hanging out. I found out I was cute and I started liking some boys. The result of that was at 17 years old, I was faced with an unplanned pregnancy. I had to put my harp to the side and become a mother. The music stopped. I was no longer the little black harpist. My father went from empowering my gifts to now sitting in my brokenness as he continued to soar as a businessman. Later in my life, what I saw in his leadership, in his love, would play out as I started my own journey of serving in the community. I wanted to mentor teen moms who were just like me. And so I started mentoring teen moms in the school district, but I quickly saw the need to house homeless teen mothers. See, another leadership lesson that I learned is that I wasn't homeless as a teen mom because of the leadership and the love that was shown to me. I felt like every teen mom deserved that leadership and that love. So, as crazy as it may be, I opened a maternity home to start housing homeless teen mothers right here in Dallas. As I continued on that journey, I saw that it was mothers in the community that needed our services as well. And so I opened a social service agency to provide wraparound services in the form of counseling, free diapers, classes, everything that a mother could need to succeed in her journey as a mother. And to date, we help thousands of mothers on their journey of motherhood. What does leadership layered in love now look like to me? It's their pain in my heart. Because you see, leadership means that as a servant leader, you will perform a task, you will rock a baby, change a diaper, before you ask anyone else to do it. Leadership layered in love also means that you see a need in the community and you step up to lead the charge to meet that need. Nothing about that is easy, just like my journey of being an 8-year-old harpist. But as a believer, my faith tells me that it is so, even when it isn't so, until it becomes so, because God said so. So I continue on the journey and I lead the charge with a team that services these clients and that follow my leadership. So I want to tell you that leadership doesn't always have to look like what you see. You can take the leadership and the love that has gone before you and cultivate better communities, better leaders, and an overall better world, because leadership is a gift and love is a gift. I also want to tell you this. I'm going to go back to the 8-year-old harpist. I want to tell you that the music never stopped. The music continued to live on through the thousands of lives that were impacted through my leadership. The music never has to die because of the things that we go through and we experience in life. We can take those lessons, we can layer them in love, and we can continue to let the music play. So as I conclude, I want to tell you that a leader knows the way. That's information. A leader goes the way. That's demonstration. And a true leader shows the way. That's inspiration. Thank you for coming to my theory.